Hey, welcome to the episode today. My name's Matt Bitter. I'm the virtual fishing guide, and I am pumped to be with you. I'm out on the Henry's Fork today, and I'm excited to get out and get some fishing in. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about finding fish. And this is something that, sounds very basic, obviously, but we want to fish in areas that where the fish are going to be hanging out. That's going to give us a higher success rate. So a couple of things to think about when we're thinking about where those fish might hang out, where they might be. What I like to do is I'm looking for areas where fish are going to have a sufficient supply of food. They need a food source, and not only just a food source, but they need a food source that they can get more energy than they expend to consume. Sounds pretty basic, but that's what they need, especially in a river like this. There's always current in a river, and so those fish are going to try to hang out in areas where they're expending less energy, but they have food coming by them, a high quantity of food that they're able to get without expending much of that energy. So, fish are very efficient feeders, and they're always feeding in a river for the most part, and always feeding in general. So I want to take you out and show you some of the areas that I look for and some of the things that I'm looking at when I'm kind of scouting out a new river or looking for a new area to fish. So we're going to do that. Another thing to think about is they need protection from predators. Now, whether that's cover like under a bank or in some structure around tree roots or sunken rocks, things like that. Or it could be that they're in a little bit deeper water than predators can get them. Or they're in water that has kind of a broken top, a riffle section that has a broken top where predators can't get in. So so those two main things are things that I think about when I'm looking for areas and targeting those areas to find fish is where is a good food source for them, and where are they going to get cover from predators, and where are they going to be able to do that without expending a lot of energy. So let's head down to the river here, and I'll show you a couple different perspectives that I look at, and then we'll see if our work pays off and we can go down and catch some fish. So one of the first perspectives I like to do is kind of get a higher elevation point. And, this can be done, sometimes the higher the better. This can be done on Google Earth sometimes, if the photos are right of the river and you can kind of target some areas that you want to go to. Or if you have a road or a trail that you can kind of get up above the river or the creek or whatever the body of water is that you're fishing, and just look for structure. Look for food funnels, areas that funnel food right by where fish are going to be holding and where they can sit to get the best variety, the best amount of food without expending the energy like we talked about. So you can kind of see right up here in the river, there is kind of literally a food funnel up there, and you can see that riffle section, and then it comes down and it's more flat water down in here. But those areas are going to hold a lot more fish because it's meeting the criteria that we talked about before. Those fish are going to have a high amount of food that's passing by them because it's all kind of funneled to the middle of the river. And they're also going to have places on the side of the river where they can sit and not expend the energy while they're waiting for that food to come by. And then it also serves as cover because it's a little bit deeper in there, and that broken surface is makes it so that predators can't see in there. So that's a great spot to target. I'm going to go up in there, and I kind of like to look at it from this angle and say, okay, where am I going to approach from? I don't want to go stomping right through the middle of that, but where am I going to approach from? So I'm probably going to come over across the river and approach up from the bottom of that riffle and start fishing from the bottom towards the top so that I'm not spooking fish and going right through it. But so that's one perspective I like to look at. We'll kind of move over there and look at another perspective and see if we can find some fish over there. All right, we made it. We're here at that riffle we were looking at before. So with that bird's eye view, we kind of were able to target in on this area and see how we were going to approach it. So you could see that I approached up along the bank where the water is shallow. We're not going to disturb any fish in there. So that kind of gives us an idea and kind of a game plan of how we're going to get up in these areas. So here now I can see out in this water, I can see individual rocks and structure and things like that that I want to target, and where those fish are going to be hiding behind out of the current, so they're saving energy. And then as that food is coming by, they can go out in the current, get that food, and then get back in behind that structure where they're going to be able to conserve the energy. You can also see here on top, it's kind of a broken surface and it's hard to see down in there. Then that helps protect them from predators as well. So now that I'm closer, more honed in, I can find those individual spots that I'm going to target as I fish up this river. So let's go see if our hard work paid off and if we can get any fish out of this riffle here. I'm excited to go check it out. It looks great. Dang nice rainbow. Love it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. Thanks for coming along fishing with me today. You know, as you get out and you fish and you look for new places to fish, or maybe, you know, you're kind of looking for some different spots on rivers you're familiar with. If you can keep those two things in mind you know, that these fish need an adequate supply of food that they can get without expending a lot of energy, and they need protection from predators, then you're gonna, if you can find those areas and fish through those areas, then you're gonna have a lot more success and be able to hook up on a lot more fish. So anyway, thanks for catching the episode today, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good one.